I want to encourage a little bit about the new Muslims, that they take that step and they get that kind of abuse or like the harassment from their parents. You know, I wanted to give them like some kind of message or an advice. What would you give them advice, you know, at that time where they just become Muslim and they're still new and the whole world is like against them? What do you think about that, or what advice would you give them about this?
Well, I just want to say that when you decide that you want to be Muslim, you want to follow the right path, live your life, you know, like you're supposed to and everything, you know, God, He's going to test you, and He's going to see if your faith is really strong, and that testing makes your faith stronger. Right. So, I mean, all of the things like what people say and do, and you know, these kind of things, that's nothing. I mean, this is, in this world, it's full of tests. Right. You know, you just gotta be patient, and you have to be persistent, and no matter what anybody says, you just keep going. Right.
MashaAllah. And now it took you a while until you get married. You, of course, I mean, many girls, they become Muslim because, you know, maybe guys that they loved a Muslim man or something like that. Yeah. Was that your situation when we were 15 years old? Were there anybody in your life at that time?
No, like basically that was, you know, far away. Until I became 20, I realized, you know, I have to get married, you know, you know, because that's what Islam teaches, and to avoid haram and, you know, all that stuff. So I told my mom and my parents, I said, you know, I'm going to start looking for someone to spend the rest of my life, to spend the rest of my life with, and I'm going to look for a Muslim, you know. And they couldn't understand, especially my mom. She's like, why don't you marry, you know, a Christian? You can go to the church, and, you know, like find a nice handsome guy, and, you know, like that. And I'm like, Mom, you know, would you marry a Muslim? And she said no. And I said, well, I wouldn't marry a Christian, you know. So I mean, I just I looked, you know. It took me about a year to find someone who I felt was compatible with me, and but that had nothing to do with me being Muslim.
Right.
Yeah,
that's really good. Now, after, of course, you married a Muslim man, right, and things like that. How was your reaction of your parents, you know, accepting a Muslim man getting married, you know, to get married to a Muslim man, or things like that? You know, I would like to.
Basically, they.
That was after, of course, 5 or 6 years of Islam, right?
Yeah.
Of struggling with your parents, you know,
yeah,
being a Muslim, and with all that patience that you had. How, you know, tell us about that story.
Okay. You know, at the beginning, I had to conceal my marriage with my husband because my mom, she wanted me to date before I get married so I can know the person. And you know, it doesn't work like that, you know. So I made istikhara, which is a special prayer for when you want to make a decision. And so did my husband, and everything went easy. We went to the masjid, and you know, had a nice dress and stuff, and you know, small, you know, just like the wedding of the Prophet ﷺ with Aisha radiallahu anha.
Yeah, very good. What message or advice would you give the world, or the people that they are looking for new Muslims and wanted to know about Islam? Tell us about that.
Okay, I think everybody, they go through a process of, you know, they look around them and they see all this creation, and they think, you know, where did all this come from? And you know, they think about the Creator, and they want to know more about the Creator. So, I mean, if we want to know more about the Creator, then we need to learn, learn about the attributes and the oneness of God, and I just want to say that, right now there is a lot of wrong things being said about Islam and everything, but that doesn't change the fact that right after 9/11, over 14,000 Americans became Muslim, and that's just Americans. I mean, that's not even counting, the UK and everything. Yeah. So, and I just want to say that the problem is not Islam. I mean, Islam is the solution to humanity.
Great. Jazakallah khair.
Wa